All right, let's dive straight into my review of The Red Ranger Becomes an Adventurer in Another World, the anime that aired from January to March 2025, adapting Koyoshi Nakayoshi's manga. This show throws a Super Sentai hero, Tōgo Asagaki, aka Kizuna Red, into a fantasy isekai world, blending tokusatsu tropes with swords and sorcery. It's a wild premise with tons of potential. So does it stick the landing? Let's break it down. First, the setup. Togo's a Red Ranger leading the Kizuna Five, a team powered by friendship and bonds, fighting the evil breakup king. Mid-battle, he's warped to a new world with no way home. He teams up with a sorceress, Yhdra, who's out to redeem her family name, Princess Teltina, who's battling demon seeds, and Lauji, her jealous bodyguard. Tōgo keeps his Sentai powers, transformations, mechs, explosive attacks, all fueled by bond energy, which clashes hilariously with this world's magic system. The gimmick's clear. Take a loud, colorful hero and drop him into a gritty fantasy setting. Sounds fun, right? Visually, Satellite delivers. The animation pops during Togo's transformation sequences, bright explosions, dynamic poses, all. That tokusatsu flair. His Kizuna Kaiser mech looks straight out of a toy commercial, and the fights have a chaotic energy that's undeniably entertaining. The fantasy world itself is standard. Forests, deserts, medieval towns, but it's serviceable. Character designs lean into the gag. Togo's gaudy red suit versus Ydra's sleek mage robes. It's a deliberate contrast that works. The comedy's where this show wants to shine. Togo's over-the-top heroism, shouting about bonds, whipping, out-weapons like the cooperation caliber or marriage beam gun, is absurd next to his party's deadpan reactions. Early on, it's gold. Episode 1 has him blow up a monster, leaving nothing to loot but ashes, and Ydra's just done with him. The satire hits familiar Sentai beats. Why do enemies explode? Why the dramatic poses? It's self-aware and doesn't pretend to be deep. Fans of Power Rangers or Super Sentai will catch the nods, like the team-up flashbacks with cheesy episode titles. But here's the rub. It doesn't evolve. The humor runs on fumes after a few episodes. Togo's shtick, yelling about friendship, causing collateral damage, gets old fast. The show leans hard into repetition instead of mixing up the gag. Ydra's exasperation stops being funny and starts feeling forced. The supporting cast tries to carry it. Teltina's bubbly pervert princess vibe and Loji's jealousy add some spice, but they're underused. The plot's thin, demon seeds possessing people, a vague evil threat, and it's more an excuse for Tōgo to punch things than a real story. Character growth? Barely. Togo's static, same optimism, same speeches. Ydra's arc about proving. Herself gets a nod, but no payoff. The backstory dumps, like Loji's envy or Teltina's duty, feel random and don't stick. It's a comedy, sure, but even satire needs stakes or development to stay fresh. Compare it to something like Konosuba, where the humor builds on character quirks and escalating chaos. This just spins its wheels. Soundtrack's a mixed bag. The opening, Kazai, by Hikaru Makishima, is catchy and fits the Sentai vibe. Battle tracks are bombastic, but the background music fades into generic fantasy noise. Voice acting's solid. Tomoya Ito nails Togo's goofy energy, and Konomi Inagaki gives Yhdra a sharp edge. The English dub, with Lee George directing, keeps the spirit alive if you're into that. So what's the verdict? It's a one-trick pony. The premise, Sentai hero in isekai land, is a blast for about 3 episodes, especially if you love tokusatsu. But it doesn't push the joke far enough or build a story worth caring about. It's not bad, just forgettable. I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Watch it for the absurdity, but don't expect it to morph into something legendary. If you want a better Sentai riff, try Samurai Flamenco. This Ranger's adventure, it's a quick power-up that fizzles out.